Everybody is saying, well, it's got to be him. What if somebody said, what a great way of framing David? Look at what David's done. He's written a song called Romantic Homicide. He's got this imagery with a bloody shirt, right? He wrote a song about being obsessed with Celeste, right? People saw him with Celeste.
So a lot of the internet are now starting to think, wait, is David actually innocent? Because we'll be getting a lot of new evidence and we're starting to build a very good timeline, and it just doesn't really look like David has done it. So let's get into it. So firstly, that TMZ clip from the intro, I'm actually going to play you guys a full clip because he brings up some good points. If you didn't know who that guy was, that is Harvey Levin, and he's like the founder or CEO of TMZ. And let me tell you guys, TMZ have been on top of this story ever since it broke. They've been giving us all the secret information from the special sources, and now they're suggesting they have stuff that could potentially clear David's name. And then now the big guy at TMZ is saying he might be innocent. Let me just play you guys a clip.
Okay, I want to open a can of worms here. There is an impound report that shows that the car that had Celeste's body in it, that was parked on Doheny Drive, was first ticketed for being there. It was there since August 26th when it was first ticketed. And if it was ticketed, it must have been there even before that. It seems like that car was parked on that street for 2 weeks. How is that car sitting there for 2 weeks? Was it sitting there with a body for 2 weeks? David left for tour August 5th. So let me just make an argument to you. If you were David, look at what David's done. He's written a song called Romantic Homicide. He's got this imagery with a bloody shirt, right? He wrote a song about being obsessed with Celeste. People saw him with Celeste. What if, and I don't know, somebody said, what a great way of framing David. What a great way of framing David. You put a body of this girl that he was dating in his car and leave it there to get towed with all that evidence. Young Jackson is nodding yes.
I am nodding yes because this has been my theory for like the past week, and I've had people call me crazy. There is such a short window of time to where he could have killed her, dismembered her body, and left for tour.
He was gone August 5th.
He wasn't in the city. He wasn't in the city.
But here's the thing. Think about if he did it. You're going to leave a body in your car on a street for 2 weeks knowing eventually it's going to get towed and found.
Now you guys might be confused about what he's talking about with the parking ticket. Well, if you guys look on screen, so this is David's Tesla. This is what the parking guy took pictures of his car with the damages, whatever, and he gave him a ticket on the 26th of August for parking his car where he shouldn't be, because as we know, he parked his car away from his house. So to put in perspective, the car was inspected on the 26th and then first sighted the car on the 27th. So that's when he got the first ticket. He then got another ticket on the 3rd, and then the car was towed and impounded on the 5th. So the first sighting of the car was the 26th, but that's only from the officer. So that means that car could have been there on the 23rd, on the 24th, on the 25th, or the 26th. I would say more so of 1 or 2 days before that, so maybe the 24th/25th. Now, David, he left on tour on the 5th of August. That's when his USA tour started. So technically speaking, he left for tour on the 5th and didn't come back until the girl was identified, which was around a week after the body was discovered. So I'd say like the 13th or the 14th the body was discovered, I think, maybe a little bit earlier. But he was away basically for the entirety of August. However, that doesn't clear him entirely, because if we actually look at his tour dates, I'll zoom it in for you guys to make it look easier. He had Philadelphia on the 22nd, Silver Springs on the 23rd, and then between Silver Springs and Cleveland, there is a 3-day gap. So, you know, he could have finished the Silver Springs show, flown back, been in LA at his house on the 24th, 25th, and then left for the Cleveland show on the 25th or the morning of the 26th. So it's still very possible that he killed her on the 24th, 25th, parks the car, and then the car got impounded on the 26th, 1 or 2 days later after he killed her. However, as this guy said in the comments, it's weird that the caller only noted a large dent in the rear, no mention of an odor. Now, of course, as we know, Teslas do have cameras, but I've heard a lot of people saying they don't record the entire time, and you need like a special USB drive to have it recording all the time and stuff like that. So for all the people in the comments saying like, oh, it's fine, the LAPD are going to get the recordings. Well, I don't think the Tesla is recording all the time. That would be like impossible. You would need like so much storage, and that storage costs a lot, even if it's stored on the cloud. Now let's show the comments from that TMZ Reddit post. So someone posted the TMZ clip on Reddit, and here is what people are saying. For him to say he could have been framed and not that he got someone to do it is crazy. And again, just to make it clear, as this guy in the comments says, don't care if he did it or not, he still dated a 13-year-old girl. Even if the defense is she lied about her age, clearly if he was paying people off in 2024, he found out her age if she was lying and continued being seen with her since. If not murder, he needs to get charged with something. Again guys, I'm not saying he's innocent for, you know, grooming and being a P-word. He's definitely still a kitty lover, a cupcake lover. I'm talking about more of the murder, because my biggest issue is it's how obvious it would be if he did do it. Because he made songs he's obsessed about her, got a song called Romantic Homicide, got many songs and music videos where he mentions or shows someone being killed and then put in the trunk of a car, stuff like that. And again, if you guys didn't know, these guys were basically publicly dating. Look, here's an article TMZ did, and they actually spoke to David's friends. And here's what they said. Friends who partied with and knew singer David were under the impression Celeste Rivas was his girlfriend, and were shocked when news came out Celeste was only 14. Sources who party in the LA music scene tell TMZ they saw David and Celeste at parties and hangouts, and it appeared to them they were a couple. So people in the scene knew they were dating, so she was literally his girlfriend publicly. Not to us, like public as in the fans, but to the people who were around the music scene. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and now she turns up dead in the trunk of his car. It will be quite obvious he did it. We're told some of them were under the impression she was a student at USC, which is like a college. The friends believe Celeste was around 19 years old and presented herself as such. So that's why it's so confusing, because it's so obvious. That's his girlfriend, and now she was found dead in the trunk of his car. And that's why that guy at TMZ was saying, well, maybe he was framed. He's the perfect guy to frame. And now look at this Reddit post. Could this really be his Tesla key? Found literally right in front of his house this morning. I lived pretty close to David's place, just wanted to go check out the area and ended up finding this Tesla key right in the gutter behind some leaves. Just spotted a Tesla letter shining out from under the leaves. Now this is very weird, this Tesla key found here, and this is David's house, I'm pretty sure. That doesn't look like David's house. Oh, I think it's the area around David's house. Now the guy said he did provide it to police for investigation. Now some guy in the comments said, okay, so is this why the car got towed? Someone was moving it every 3 days for him, so the car wouldn't get a parking violation while he was out of town on tour. That person lost their access key, and so they couldn't move it anymore. The person did not inform David that they have lost the key, or they did let him know, and he just thought it wouldn't be that big of a deal, or could have come up with a way to handle the situation. I mean, I doubt he had someone moving the car for him. I doubt anyone wanted to get involved in this murder, because realistically, he could have just left the car in his garage or just left it in front of the house. Now, someone does bring up a good point about this entire theory that he is innocent. That means someone else would need a motive to kill her and also the keys to his car. I'm not buying it. Okay, now this is a very good post about the parking situation. August 23rd is a Saturday, so there was no sweep, and the LA do Monday to Friday bi-weekly. If Doheny swept Wednesdays, check Streets LA City, so this guy checked when they do the sweeps. Last sweep was August 20th. Car parked around 2 weeks August 6th to 20th, likely moved in post sweep on August 6th, 7th. So he moved his car after the sweep around the 6th or the 7th, which lines up with his August 7th departure. Well, I mean, he left on tour, so he had Del Mar, Phoenix, and they had a gap on the 7th. I mean, Del Mar and Phoenix are kind of close, right? So I'm just checking on Google Maps. Del Mar, California, CA. So that's an hour drive, hour and a half drive to LA. So that's close. Then Phoenix, Arizona, that's a 5-hour drive to LA. Now I'm presuming he took a plane. But yeah, it's close enough that he could come back on the same day, and especially he had a gap on the 7th, he could have flown back after the Phoenix show. So wait a minute, so the sweep finished on the 6th, so he could have come back on the 7th after the Phoenix show, killed her then, and then parked the car on the 7th, which lines up with his August 7th departure. Yep, exactly. There's a gap. August 7th. And then for the rest of this post, this here just explains that he was basically moving the whole car around so he doesn't get a ticket or citation. But I don't know, guys, if you actually think about it, framing someone is absolutely insane. Like, who would kill this little girl, Celeste? Why would somebody randomly kill this little girl? It makes absolutely zero sense. Because even if we look at David's behavior, think about it, the body was discovered whilst he was on tour. And whilst he was on tour, he was still throwing labubus into the crowd and performing as if nothing happened. But guys, if you found out your girlfriend died and she was put inside of your car, wouldn't you be kind of freaked out and also very sad? Like, if I had a body found in the trunk of my car whilst I was on the other side of the country, I would put out a statement like, guys, I have no idea what happened, yabba yabba yabba. But no, it just doesn't make sense. And especially if he was innocent, wouldn't he say like, oh, I'm sorry at the passing of my friend Celeste? Now, of course, he kind of can't, because he can't admit that he was friends or even like, you know, girlfriend, like that was his girlfriend. He kind of can't admit to that. But yeah, I just doubt he was framed, because it's just, who would kill this little girl? Now, for the people who are saying he may be innocent because why would he put the body in the trunk of his car? Well, we actually watched a video. We watched like a little clip in one of my other videos, and this detective, or he's like an investigator, he said, yeah, a lot of first-time murderers, they put the bodies in the trunk of their car because they just don't know where else to put it. So yeah.
I've already seen some of the conspiracy theories come out, and one of the questions I saw is, who would be stupid enough to put the dead body in the trunk of their own car? And the answer to that is most murderers. Most people, especially when they kill for the first time, make a million mistakes. And this
I understand this theory, but there are men who have murdered their wife and kids, so I think if you're truly crazy, then common sense is not being used. Yeah, I actually think it's no good trying to understand David's actions, because realistically, yeah, we can't understand his actions because he's dating a little girl and now he's apparently murdered her. So I don't think we can like reverse engineer his psychology or something along those lines, like his thoughts. This guy brings up a good theory, I guess. David had a whole entourage who stayed with him, partied with him and hung around him, including Celeste. How possible is it that while he was on tour, they were taking drugs and she overdosed? Then they panicked, and to avoid being charged themselves, they hid her in David's car so he could take the blame. It explains why she would be in his car for that long, with David showing absolutely no urgency to try and hide her, with the body just waiting to be discovered. Now, that is a good point, because think about it, the coroner or the doctor people, I forget their name, they've already checked her body and they didn't rule a reason for her death. Because think about it, if there was a slash to her throat, she was stabbed, her skull was broken, I don't know, her neck was broken, something along those lines, you know, from strangulation, they would have found that already, no? Because right now the only thing we're waiting for is a toxology report, which I'm pretty sure is different from them actually looking for bruising or broken bones. I'm pretty sure they've already done that because they've already released the body to the family, which means they're done doing all the physical checks. They're just waiting for the actual sciencey experiment stuff to be finished, which can actually take a very long time, like a couple months, so don't expect that anytime soon. Which kind of helps with the theory that she overdosed, because if there was no physical damage, physical marks to her body, of course her body was badly decomposed, so maybe they couldn't see, but yeah, maybe she OD'd and they panicked and hid her body. Now I actually have another good video from TMZ which I'm going to play you guys.
To spend the rest of his life in a prison.
Maybe he did do it and wants to be caught. Again, we don't know.
I just said, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he did or didn't do it. All I'm saying is, we're all coming up with theories.
Yeah.
And yeah, one is he did, but there's another that he didn't. Boy, you want to frame somebody?
Put it, yep.
Boom.
Put it in the car.
Boom.
And also, the car was moved as well, right? Am I getting that right?
Well, we don't know where it was between August 5th and around August 26th, because August 26th is when they found it when they ticketed it on the street. Again, it may have been there days before, but I know that street because I lived on that street, and they have street cleaning once a week, and they ticket you if you keep your car there.
That's the thing, like he must have been moving his car all the time, or maybe he literally just came back from tour and moved it, or he paid someone to move it for him. I don't know, we just don't have like a concrete timeline, we don't know the exact dates, it's very confusing.
Everybody is saying, well, it's got to be him, or not everybody, but a lot of people. But all I'm saying is he saying, catch me?
Possibly.
Well, I mean,
you know,
if it is him, he's got to be saying "Catch Me" because he's written a song. He's written two songs.
Well, hang on. So Romantic Homicide and Celeste, both of those songs, we have a general idea from a few videos that it's possible she was alive about a month ago, right? Romantic Homicide was released 3 years ago. And
he had been, I got to tell you, he might have been seeing her since 23.
Oh yeah, no, he possibly could have been dating her when he was 17 and she was even younger.
Yes.
But Romantic Homicide was released 3 years ago, and that song about Celeste was released way before she was killed.
No, I know, but did he know her then?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty sure he did.
So when you've got that on your ledger, and you got, and like we did yesterday when you were part of the story as we were working on it, you know, that they were at parties and everybody thought they were boyfriend, girlfriend, and everybody thought she was 19. So, you know, he's not hiding her and everybody knows he's dating her, all the circle of friends, and he does what? Kills her? Puts her in his car and just leaves it? And if you go to the trouble of dismembering, I know this is gruesome, isn't that somebody who wants to hide the crime?
Exactly.
So then why wouldn't you burn that, bury that, hide that, but instead you put it in your trunk and leave?
Someone actually asked me, why has it not been ruled as a homicide yet? So I'm gonna go into that. So I'm gonna try to keep certain words out just for the sake of TikTok like banning me or flagging me, but manner of death is categories of death. So you have accidental, homicide, natural, undetermined, etc. And your cause of death is exactly what caused your death. So if it was an accidental death, it could have been a car accident. If it was a natural death, it could have been cancer. And in this case, she went down as undetermined because her body is too far in the decomposition process to know exactly what caused her death.
Wow, so I know we went from one clip to another clip. I didn't even speak after that other TMZ clip because this one popped up and I was like, I'll watch it and see what she says. But she brings up a very good point, which I kind of mentioned earlier. They can't find a cause of death. As I said, if they knew she was stabbed, her head was broken, whatever, surely they would have ruled that and they would have put that on her report. But on her report, it just says undetermined, so they didn't find any stab wounds, any damaged organs, but maybe they didn't find that because whoever put the body in the trunk got very lucky and she was left there for long enough that they couldn't tell who did it. So yeah, literally all we're waiting for is like her toxicology report, which I don't know what it gives us back, but I guess they can tell if she OD'd or maybe it could give us a cause of death, something along those lines. As this guy said, looks like it's only up to CCTV or car or some other hard evidence like a phone recording, because clearly they're getting nothing from her body. Now this is a good post. I can see a way David only ends up getting a few years for this. This is a massive post, so I'm only going to read a little bit. When the story first broke, I honestly thought he was headed for a death sentence. Abusing and killing a young girl is absolutely insane. The more I think about it and the more it comes out, however, and I hate to say this, I think he may actually do the impossible and escape with a life sentence. There is definitely a reason he hasn't been arrested yet, and why the police haven't yet said this is a murder investigation despite Celeste's autopsy being done many days ago now. And basically just says like, from the info coming out, David may have not been in the vicinity, no exact time of death, David's been on tour, and the lawyers can use a timeline to their advantage, whatever. And maybe she died from an overdose, which takes off a murder charge. And in summary, they might not arrest him at all, or if they do, they might arrest him for, I don't know, messing with a corpse. Because I know they were in a relationship, but I think it would be very hard to prove they actually had done the stuff, because maybe they could charge him for kidnapping, but what if the family knew she was with him and they allowed him to go with her? But also maybe he paid the family, so that could be another charge. But I actually got a good clip from Charleston White, and he said, how can they prove they actually had intercourse? I'll play you guys the clip.
Okay, but Unc, what about the vivid video of him and the 13-year-old linking up?
So, how can we prove they had sexual intercourse?
What were they doing, Unc? Playing fucking Fortnite, bro? Come on.
No, listen. Me and you know that. The police know that.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the police. How do you prove it? I see. Okay, so we gotta just wait and see what happens, bro.
All I keep telling everybody, but why would they let a black man in America? If we really believe the police is against us, that we're going through injustices, what black man get to walk around in America and tour as a millionaire when all the evidence says he's guilty? They didn't let Diddy do it.
That's true.
So I'm saying, homie, maybe somebody else killed this kid because he even went to the police station to talk to the police.
So yeah guys, I think it would be very tough for the police to actually prove he murdered her unless they find a literal murder weapon, but again, they already searched his house. If they found a murder weapon, a knife with blood on it, a knife, an axe, I don't know, whatever, you get the point. Surely they would have arrested him already. A murder weapon inside his house, the body was inside his car, they would have arrested him, but they sweeped his house, nothing. They found the body in his trunk, nothing. And again, I know they're checking his devices and they're doing like DNA tests and they're doing a toxicology report, but I don't know guys, we'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did David do it or is he innocent? I guess we'd have to wait and see. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe.